Hello drummers, Tim Connolly here today. Thank you for joining me at Tim Connolly Drums. Today we are going to do a very special and very important video, and it's about the 6 most common mistakes beginner drummers make and how to fix them. We are going to review 6 mistakes that I commonly see beginner drummers do, and I'm going to give you some tips how to fix them. So there is hope for all the beginner drummers out there. Now, one thing I want to say about the beginner drummer is that I've had a lot of experience teaching all levels of drummers, everything from beginner to advanced. And there's a few things, even advanced drummers make these mistakes too. So this can help all levels of drummers. This, even though the title is the 6 most common mistakes done by beginners, I still see these mistakes being done by intermediate and advanced students as well. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's start with number 1. Okay, numero uno. Number 1, one of the most common things. All 6 of these are important, by the way. I don't have them in any particular order. They're all mistakes that beginner, intermediate, and like I said, some advanced players make. But this one I think is the most common, and that's why I've put it at number 1. And that is quite simply holding the sticks incorrectly. So I've seen every configuration of holding the sticks. I've seen everything. This is the most common though, where they take their fingers off the stick and they squeeze the fulcrum. That's the most common mistake that I see. And what's happening is, and it's funny, when I'm teaching this, I tell them, I want you to do the exact opposite of what you're doing right now. And they're just like, defeated. But I'm afraid it's true. This fulcrum, this is the fixed part, this fulcrum needs to be really, really loose. This finger needs to be out of the way. A lot of times guys wrap their finger around the stick. This impedes the stick movement, plain and simple. I've got other specific videos where I go into detail about holding the stick, so check that video out. Today is just a quick overview based on various mistakes that I see most commonly. So you want that finger out. You want this fulcrum really, really loose, because this is where the stick is moving. This is not a control point. This is a movement point. It's a fulcrum. The control point is back here with these 3 fingers, getting the stick to move using your fingers. So let me just throw my pad on here for 1 second. So what's happening is when you throw the stick down, the stick bounces up and you're allowing it to move and be really loose. The stick will not move if you squeeze here. So if you hold the stick tightly, you're actually preventing it from moving. You're having to pull it. So everything you're doing, you're fighting with the stick the whole time. So what I want you to do, all you beginners, intermediate, advanced, whoever, let the stick do its thing. Let it move. Check out my video on the free stroke to develop this idea. Okay? So let the stick move. And remember, the stick is controlled with the 3 fingers at the back. This is a fulcrum. The stick is really loose. Allow it to move. Check this out. So you can see from that, just that little demo, the sticks are really moving loosely. I'm allowing them to move, but I'm in total control. Okay, so like I said, check out a couple of my other videos, free stroke and how to hold the drumsticks, to get into this in depth. Okay, so now we're moving on to number 2, which is incorrect bass drum technique. Now this is another one very, very common. So how do we fix that? Well, first of all, let's deal with exactly what the mistakes are. A lot of the mistakes are they're not positioning their foot correctly on the pedal. So they're too far up the pedal. Too far up the pedal, and they're not allowing the spring to do its thing. So the bass drum spring is kind of like what I always talk about when we talk about the free stroke technique and the stick bouncing. So the bass drum pedal, you want to be around the middle point or even a little bit lower. In my case, I use a DW 9000 and I sit just below the 9. And I use a heel up technique. Again, I have a video specifically dedicated to bass drum technique, so check that out. For today, I'm just going to make it short, but you lift your heel up. When you strike, you put your heel down. So it's a motion like this. You do the strike, heel up. As soon as the strike is over, heel down. Now, notice that when I do the strike, when my heel is up, the beater wants to sit against the head. As soon as I put my heel down, look what happens. It comes off. That's what you want. So that's one of the common mistakes. Incorrect pedal placement, incorrect foot placement on the pedal rather. And also burying the beater. Because when you bury the beater, sometimes what happens is you don't realize it. There's extra little hits in there. Brr, little brr. So you hit the bass drum. I can't do it. I can't make the mistake because I've trained so hard not to make that mistake. But when you hit the bass drum, you want to come off it clean. You don't want that brr sound. Okay, and you guys know what I'm talking about, those extra little hits. So you hit the bass drum, and so make sure you're not too far up the pedal, not way up here like this. You're not going to get a good, too much work. So you're moving the whole pedal with your leg in that first stroke. Then you relax in the second stroke. Now, the reason that you have a relaxation stroke is, like I said, with the free stroke, you got to bounce, and then you've got a moment of relaxation. That relaxation allows your muscles to relax because obviously lifting your whole leg, the muscles are engaged. And what have I always said in my videos? We don't want to engage the muscles because muscles tire. So to avoid the tiring, we do the stroke, then we put our heel down. When we put the heel down, the foot relaxes, the hip flexors relax, the leg relaxes. And the heel, so it's a strike and the heel goes down. Now that's the same thing with singles. I do it in one motion with singles. One motion. Do the strike and then the heel goes down. This is not the Steve Gadd heel-toe technique or toe-heel technique, whatever you want to call it, heel-toe. This is not it. This is something I've sort of come up with on my own as a result of getting tired from playing a lot, playing night after night after night for hours at a time, gigs, and my legs and hip flexors wearing out. Well, they haven't done that for a long time since I got this technique down. All right, so that's the bass drum. Okay, the next one on my list is not knowing where the one is. So what happens is, quite often, I'm just going to move my pad here, quite often they're playing a groove and they have no clue where to come out of the groove, or sorry, they're playing a groove and they go into a fill and they have no idea where to come out of the fill into the one. So if we're playing in 4/4 time and we want to play a whole bar, I always teach them in bars to begin with. If you want to play a whole bar, you got choices. You can play 4 quarter notes. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Second choice, 8th notes. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Third choice, triplets. 2, 3, 4. Also completing the bar, as you can see. Next choice, 16th notes. 1 Eana, 2 Eana, 3 Eana, 4 Eana, 1. So, when we're doing the fills, we want to complete the bar. So let me give you an example how to fix this. Okay, so basically you practice completing the bar by playing 4 quarter notes, 8 eighth notes, 12 triplets, 16 16th notes, etc., etc. Okay, so you're completing the bar. You can break it down from there. Of course, not every song has a complete bar drum fill, of course. But to understand where the one is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now what happens over time as experienced drummers is you develop the ability to just know where it is. All right, check it out. So you develop this ability that you don't have to count, you don't have to think about it, you just do it. However, that takes time. So, beginners, always know where the one is. Vitally, vitally important. Okay, number 4 on our list. A lot of drummers, for some reason, and Neil Peart was guilty of this too, and he's my favorite drummer of all time. But when Neil studied with Freddie Gruber, this is one of the things that Freddie got him to stop doing. Believe it or not, Neil took lessons with the legendary teacher Freddie Gruber, and I've also studied Freddie's techniques, and Freddie got him to relax his positioning with his arms. So it looks like the chicken dance, a lot of guys. Their arms are out. Now, this is a really, really bad thing because you're going to get tired. As soon as you stick your arm out, your shoulder muscles are engaged, your neck muscles are engaged, your trapezius muscles are engaged. This goes against everything you want to do as a drummer. You want to be relaxed as possible. Relaxation is number 1, it's key. You cannot be relaxed if you're like this. So here's the mistake I always see. Check this out. You see what I'm doing there? My arms are out. Over here they're out. When I go to hit a cymbal, they're out. They're always out and activated. And I'm gonna get tired really quick. 2 songs in, I'm done playing a 35 song gig. Are you kidding me? So, rather than try and develop your muscles, we're not bodybuilders here, we're drummers. Rather than trying to counter that with getting strong muscles, let's do the opposite and not engage the muscles. So the fix is this, check this out. Everything I'm doing is relaxed. When I'm on the hat, notice how my arm positioning is down. I'm letting the stick bounce, relax. Same with my left arm. I'm not doing this. None of this is going on. We are not doing the chicken dance, people. Get your arms down, relax. When I go to the ride, you'll notice I'm not extending my arm out. Another thing is position your cymbals so that you can easily access them without sticking your arms out and engaging the muscle. Even when I go to the bell, you'll notice that I'm using this molar technique to get the stroke that I want without engaging my muscles. It's very loose and relaxed. When I'm not on the bell, when I go to hit the cymbal, notice how my arm, again, not engaged. No matter what cymbal I hit, I am doing a whipping stroke and I'm not engaging the muscle, okay? So, arms out like the chicken dance. No. Stop doing that. And I know you're doing it. I know you are doing it, so stop doing it. Be aware, this is not good. Get your arms down and relax. Everything is loose and relaxed. I'm not doing the chicken dance. All right, awesome. All right, the next one, number 5. Not getting a bounce off the drum heads. Okay, so this is vital. What I see a lot of guys do is they dig into the heads. Again, it's got to do with technique. They're pushing on the drum and they're, again, thinking that they need to put pressure here when they hit the drum. That actually hurt my hand a little bit. I actually felt a little spark of pain there doing that. So right away, that is going to tell you you are not hitting the drum correctly. If you're causing pain when you hit the drums, that is not correct. So we don't want to dig into the drum unless we're doing a buzz stroke, unless that is the intention. And I might add, a lot of these things I'm teaching you today, some of them you can actually do if it's intended and it's part of the musical flair / arrangement that you're doing. 99% of this, though, is a bad idea to do. However, pushing on the drum, that's a buzz roll. So sometimes we can do that. But most times we're not. What we're going to do is the opposite. Rather than digging into the head like this, and you can see the tension, you can see how I'm tense, my wrist is locked in, we want to do the opposite. Bend your wrist, let the stick bounce. Okay, so I'm allowing the sticks to bounce. That bouncing will create speed. Okay, let the sticks bounce, and you're going to be able to move a lot faster. You're not going to hurt yourself, and it's going to sound a lot better and a lot smoother. Okay, so nice and relaxed, moving around the drum kit, allowing the sticks to bounce off the heads and not be buried. All right, that's awesome. Okay, the final one, number 6, not practicing with a metronome or practicing to not be able to play good time. This is a very common thing. I call it wanking. In other words, you're playing the drums, but you're not thinking about playing in time. And as a result, without you realizing it, you're speeding up and slowing down like crazy. You've got to practice everything with some kind of a metronome. Now, the easiest thing to do is just Google metronome, and the very first one that pops up, you use it. What I'm going to use today is the metronome off my Yamaha EAD10, okay? I have it set at 120, and I'm just going to play a few grooves and a few simple things just so that you can get an idea of playing with a metronome. Okay, so you got the idea that whatever you play, doesn't matter what it is, you definitely want to play with a metronome and practice your fills, your phrases, grooves, you name it, everything, okay? Now I'm going to give you one quick exercise to help you. Play quarter notes, eighths, triplets, sixteenths, 30 seconds. We'll do that on this pad here, and we're going to do it with the metronome. So here we go. So those are the 6 most common mistakes beginner drummers make, and that is how to fix them as well. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. And please like and subscribe, and I will be back again soon with another fantastic video. Thanks very much for watching. Keep drumming. See ya.